Welcome back to CIA Declassified. Before we dive into today's toxic toolkit, I want to make sure you've heard the full story of our obsession with the man in Havana. If you missed our previous deep dives into the agency's war on Fidel, be sure to check out our other episodes on assassination attempts against him, titled CIA Declassified: Fidel Castro's Beard and the Apothecary of Shadows, document number 104-10103-10003, and CIA Declassified: The Deadly Decor, the Exploding Seashell, Castro's Caribbean Trap. Today we are moving away from the ocean floor and into the humid offices of the Office of Technical Services, which again is the scariest office in the CIA in my humble opinion. By 1960, the CIA wasn't just trying to overthrow government, they were trying to dismantle a man. This is Operation MONGOOSE. It was a multi-million-dollar war of the weird where the weapons of choice were fountain pens, toxins, and the world's most dangerous cigar. Fidel Castro was famous for two things: his speeches and his cigars. The CIA decided to use both against him. In February of 1961, a CIA official was handed a box of Castro's favorite cigars and ordered to treat them with botulinum. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it right. It's Botulinum. And it's a toxin. The toxin was so potent that merely putting the cigar in one's mouth would cause death. A quote from a declassified IG report on Castro plots. The cigars were treated with a lethal toxin by a CIA medical officer. The technical problem was to ensure the toxin remained active despite the heat of the cigar, or to ensure ingestion occurred before lighting. The exploding cigar was a separate project. The idea was to rig a cigar with a small, high-powered explosive charge that would detonate when the tip was lit, literally blowing the leader's head off during a televised speech. The agency's Technical Services Division actually produced these cigars, but they were never officially delivered because the cutout agents in Cuba lost their nerve or their access. A quote from the Senate Church Committee testimony: the ingenuity of the Office of Technical Services was directed toward a variety of schemes, many of which appear in hindsight to be more appropriate for a work of fiction than a national agency. End quote. One plot involved contaminating Castro's radio studio with an LSD-type aerosol spray right before he went on the air, hoping he would have a psychotic break and embarrass himself in front of the nation. The thallium plot was a psychological attack. The CIA planned to dust Castro's shoes with thallium salts, a depilatory agent, while he was on an overseas trip. The goal: to make all of his hair fall out, including his beard, which the CIA believed was the source of his charismatic power. To test the thallium powder, TSD scientists reportedly tested the chemical on animals to ensure it would cause total hair loss without killing the subject immediately. The agency also developed a contaminated suitcase. It was lined with a lethal fungal skin rot that would affect anyone who touched the interior lining. A declassified memo from 1962 describes a Black Leaf project where the CIA attempted to poison Castro's coffee with a heat-resistant cyanide capsule that looked like a sugar cube. The Technical Services Division had a budget of over $100,000 in 1960 dollars, specifically for exotic weaponry aimed at the Cuban leadership. The poison pen was actually delivered to a high-level Cuban official on the day of the Kennedy assassination. It used a needle so fine it could be stuck into a victim without them feeling it, delivering a fatal dose of Black Leaf 40. CIA chemists worked in secret S&T labs to stabilize toxins that could survive the tropical humidity of Havana. One proposed plan involved a gift camera that would fire a poison dart when the shutter button was pressed by the photographer. The agency's fascination with Castro's personal habits led them to track his laundry service, hoping to poison his shirts with a chemical that would be absorbed through the skin. Historical records show the agency considered using an agent to drop a heat-sensitive bomb into Castro's favorite outdoor barbecue pit, timed to detonate when the grill reached a certain temperature. A quote from a declassified CIA memorandum on Project ZR Rifle. The elimination of Target 1 remains the priority. Technical solutions must be clandestine enough to permit plausible deniability even in the event of partial discovery. End quote. The TSD created a lethal aspirin bottle where the pills were coated in a plastic that wouldn't dissolve until they reached the stomach, releasing a deadly dose of sodium fluoroacetate. Mongoose operatives investigated the possibility of poisoning the ventilation system of Castro's private plane using a slow-release gas canister triggered by cabin pressure changes. The agency even developed a silenced poison spray disguised as a standard can of Cuban insect repellent designed for use during Castro's frequent visits to agricultural sites. When you read the Mongoose summaries, the black ink gets thickest when discussing failed deliveries. The heaviest redactions follow the mention of the New York box. Some theorists believe the black bars hide the fact that a box of poisoned cigars was actually delivered to the United Nations during Castro's visit, but they were smoked by a high-ranking American diplomat by mistake, and the redactions cover the accidental death logs. There is a whisper that the black bars in the thallium testing section hide the orphanage trials. Speculation suggests the CIA tested the hair loss chemicals on unwitting subjects in South America, and the redactions hide the horrific medical results. Some researchers believe the redactions in the biology transport log hide the mosquito fleet. The theory is the CIA was breeding mosquitoes infected with a modified plague to be released over Castro's private retreat, and the bars hide the genetic engineering specs. Could there be a body double in the files? A wild theory suggests the black bars hide the fact that one of these assassination attempts actually worked, but the CIA realized the replacement was even worse, so they helped cover up the death and installed a double. The redactions, according to this, hide the plastic surgery invoices. Some speculate the redactions hide the Astral Project. The theory is the CIA hired psychic assassins to try and cause Castro to have a heart attack from a distance, and the black bars hide the remote viewing logs. Deep web sleuths claim the black bars in the diving suit file actually cover up the octopus program. The theory, the CIA tried to train a octopus to recognize Castro's swimming trunks and inject him with a neurotoxin, and the redactions hide the bizarre marine biology test results. There is a fringe theory that the black bars in document 104 hide the voodoo protocol. Speculation suggests the agency hired practitioners in Haiti to curse Castro's specific brand of tobacco, and the redactions cover the occult services line item budget. Some believe the redactions hide the radioactive bar stool. The theory is that the CIA planted a seat in Castro's favorite nightclub that emitted targeted radiation to his lower back, and the black bars hide the slow kill oncology reports. Whispers among historians suggest the redactions hide the mirror trap. The theory is that the agency rigged a hotel mirror to release a fast-acting skin poison the moment it sensed Castro's specific facial heat signature, and the bars hide the infrared blueprints. Some speculate the redactions hide the time loop contingency. The theory is that the CIA was so frustrated by the failures that they investigated quantum sabotage to erase Castro from history altogether, and the black bars hide the temporal physics warnings. Was Operation Mongoose a success? As an assassination program, it was a disaster. Castro survived over 600 plots and lived to be 90 years old. However, as a technical exercise, the agency proved they could turn almost any mundane object into a lethal delivery system. If forced, the Cuban G2 to spend millions on security, effectively paralyzing the dictator with paranoia. The Castro Conundrum pushed the limits of secret science and had some operational breakthroughs, such as Advanced microencapsulation. The work on the cyanide sugar cube led to the development of time-release coatings used in modern pharmaceuticals. Aerosolized drug delivery. The LSD spray research contributed to modern understandings of how chemicals can be dispersed through ventilation systems. Transdermal toxins. The laundry and shoe plots helped the CIA perfect skin contact poisons, a technology unfortunately used in later Cold War assassinations. And tactical humiliation theory. The thallium plot shifted the agency's focus from lethal force to character assassination, a cornerstone of modern psychological warfare. Fidel Castro once joked, quote, "If surviving assassination attempts were an Olympic event, I would win the gold medal," end quote. Looking at the declassified files, he wasn't wrong. Thanks for listening. Join us next time we head into the darkest basements of the Cold War. We examine MKUltra Subproject 23 and the search for the ultimate brainwashing tool. The agency moved beyond drugs and into the realm of pure light. We'll uncover the research into painless torture, a system of sensory overload using flickering high-intensity lights designed to shatter the human psyche without leaving a single bruise. Join us for the strobe room next time. In the meantime, I'll see you in the archives.